potentially 1 penny or less, which I think is huge. When you look at
How
the
you guys
scalability
doing?
here, transactions per second, also known
Just
as
doing
TPS,
a
you
little
can
quick
see up to
live
100K,
stream.
up to 100K. You got layer
Just a little
zero,
different.
NA, not applicable. And then you
My
have
man
layer
Mike the
1X,
investor.
which is up to
Give you some
100,
good
up to
investment
100K,
information.
or potentially a
Something
little
that
bit
I
more.
really like
When
to
you look at
do
the seconds
because
as well, based off of the
I
transaction,
don't really
you can
make
see 1.2 seconds. So
much
the
money off of anything
blockchain is
else at
supposed to
this
be
proper
pretty
moment,
fast as
but
well. Native virtual
seems that
machine, so
comes
it's using its
from some
own
sort
code
of
that's built in.
technology
And
or
according to the team, they
internet-based
have been
business,
building this for the past, 2.5 years or so.
including
So this is
investments,
not something
things
that
like
they just
that.
kind of started. So they already had the test net and all of that
Right
live
now,
prior to
just more or
doing,
less
the
going
private
over
sale, and then the
anything
public
new,
sale will be coming
speculative,
as well. So
going
that
on
is
in the
something nice to see,
marketplace.
because we have seen blockchains in the past that would, raise money.
I
However, they wouldn't have all of the
studied
tech
to be,
actually built. So
especially
it's nice to see that they actually
during the
have the
pandemic,
tech
but even
built
before the
as they
pandemic,
get
I
ready
studied
to,
to do a
as they're,
lot of
raising money now. So
coding,
something I did like to see as well, just kind of from an ethical standpoint. But some of the major
just
standpoints and key features here is
strengthening
just
all of
on
my
this
like my
chart that I just
reserves
briefly
as
wanted
far
to
as
show
that
you
goes.
guys regarding layer 1X. Now, let's see, let me go back over. So yeah, so layer 1X, man, is
Trying
going
to
to
do
be
a lot
good.
more
There's going
streams
to be a
like this,
pre-sale as well. Now,
or
if you
just
do the
streams in
pre-sale, you are
general,
going to
just
be
more live
vested
streams,
for 15
at least
months, and
once
you're
or
going to get
twice
like
in
one
the middle
fifth
of the
of
day
what you
during the
invested
week, and
dispersed
then
each
do
month for
more
15 months
during the
until you get your
week,
full amount that you
more
invested.
so
And
at
then there's going to
night,
be a public sale
and
that's going to be at 50
just
cents
maybe one or two at
compared to
night
the 10 cents
during the
of the
week,
private sale.
and they'll get
Now,
a
they've already, I
bun
believe, have about
sometime during the
6.5
weekend.
million committed to the
Something
10
that's been
million.
difficult
And
for
so
me
with
is
that
really
being
just
said,
been
man, it's you can
creating a
see there's a lot
schedule.
of excitement, there's a lot of hype, and a lot of belief
And then on
already
my
into
other
this
channel,
project. And one thing I like as well
this
with
is
the
more
private sale, anybody can get into the private
catered
sale.
and
You don't have to be
specific
a
to just
VC, or anything
technology
of that
and
nature, venture capitalist, or
things of
anybody with
just
just
innovation,
multi-millions of dollars.
AI,
If you
things
got
like
a
that.
little bit of money, you can
I'm
get in.
more
The
focusing on
minimum
that
is like
channel.
$100, and the max is 50K. So definitely reasonable for pretty much anybody to get in that's interested, or that may have a belief in what this project or blockchain could do. Um, so yeah, we would definitely have to redo this stream though, for real, because I want to get I definitely want to get the team on here. Jake from Dex Finance, Montu from Layer 1X, and then AJ from EMP Money. So I want to get all three of them on, just because it's nice to have all of them touch on different angles where they're more fluent at in this project and how everything comes together. I watched
But we ain't
quite
doing
a
too
few
much. We just
AMAs
having this a
already
chilling
with the
vibe
team,
stream.
and how they kind of
Just
talked
going through
about how it's
emotions, man.
different
I'm a real
as well.
person.
Like when
Some
you talk about,
real
for
people.
example, some
This is
people may
real
say, well,
Mike.
Mike, how is this different from other
You
chains,
know what I'm
such as
saying? We
like
go through
Thor
real
chain or
technical
something of that
things.
nature? Where Thor chain, I know
Give us a
they kind
chance,
of
man.
use simultaneously, transactions on each chain, compared to it being full interoperable on layer 1X, where it's actually doing it for you and doing it together. So it's not,
Facts, though. Like, we really grinding, really making what we could do happen. Salute us. See what's up on deck. This is something. I'm gonna do a live reaction with y'all. This right here is I guess they had a guy who
other people, and he revealed that
Was in the
Nipsey was supposed to be
LAPD,
having a meeting
but
with the
basically saying
LAPD the
they
day
had
that
Nipsey
Monday.
set up.
Nipsey got killed on Sunday. They were supposed to have this meeting on Monday.
You better move how the Gilligan Slayer move.
Just what do you think they could have possibly been, just from your experience as a police officer and just understanding, just different aspects of, policing and community and things like that. Do you have any idea what they may have been prepared to talk about that day?
I would say they were probably going to talk about how they could get on just like a community level with the community. Obviously, Nipsey Hussle was a known gang member, but he was also, I would say, he was a community organizer. We call him a neighborhood hero. I grew up in that area, so for me, Nipsey Hussle was a role model to me. I actually had conversations with partner officers about why he was a role model to me, and someone would argue with me like, "Oh, well, he was a gang member and this and that." Like, no, he was a father. He was a son. He was a
like
poet.
it's a
He was
real
a business
dude.
owner. That's
Was
what
he
he was.
really with the government out there with them, working with the LAPD? Was he really? I don't know.
Right.
So
Now I do hate when they try to like just label somebody as like, oh, he just a gang member. But bro, you just a police officer that grew up in a crooked family, Lo. The same for a lawyer.
Exactly.
The same for any of these people, Lo. That's how y'all grew up. That's how we grew up. You can't fault us for how we grew up because that's how the people that was before us taught us how to live, Lo. But gangbangers are still humans. They
Everybody's
still got
human.
loved ones. They still fathers, brothers, daughters, sisters. And every gangbanger ain't a bad person, Lo. And just because a gangbanger is a gangbanger, that don't mean he's a bad person, bro. You gotta understand if a gangbanger is out hunting gangbangers, then he's, but when it start going to like regular people that don't gangbang, that's when it get a little tricky, Lo. But gangbangers are good persons, bro. Not all of them are bad. Look at me, Lo. I came from that shit, bro. I was never a demon. I never had ill intentions, Lo. I never picked on the weak. I didn't choose the civilians to let off my
I ain't
heat.
gonna do that either. I respect
I
that.
just didn't do nothing.
I ain't never tried to like pick on people that was weak, nothing like that. I'm not in no affiliation, but just me and my time in the streets, I never respect nobody who just messes with kids or messes with old people or people who might be scared of confrontation. Like y'all weak as hell. Scared to stand on your own too and see what it do.
None of that, Lo. And I really believe that's why I'm still breathing. For real. I'm up above 7 feet of that dirt, Lo. And I'm very grateful.
well, none of us are, as good as God. None of us walk in the image of God. So, for anybody to say like, oh,
That's
Nipsey Hussle
facts.
this and that, for me, it's like, nah, I'm not here for none of that. But anyways, I would say, yeah, I think they might have sat down and talked about some of the things that I'm trying to make happen about the gang unit and just kind of show how they're actually terrorizing the community when they're supposed to be trying to protect us.
Facts.
I actually, when I first got into the LAPD, I thought that maybe I might be interested in joining the gang unit. But when I got to
just
Southwest
seem
Division,
like the type
I saw
would
that
be a
like
cop.
nobody was calling on the
Honestly,
gang
just
members,
seems like
and
the
so the
type that would be a
problems
cop.
start from officers stopping the gang members. Like that's how a lot of the issues were starting between law enforcement officers. It's not like, oh, they had just
Bro, Crash. They move just like a gang move, Lo. And I'm not lying, bro.
Man, he just
They
seemed like
driving
somebody that
through.
would be a
It's
cop.
like they grooving through the territory. They creeping. And guess who they on the hunt for? The gangbangers are the people who they think is the gangbangers, Lo. They on the hunt for brown and blacks. And that is all facts. Like they're hunting. Like they're gangbangers, Lo. They driving through low pro. They got people in the back ready to jump out on you, bro. Chase you down and all that. Yeah, they jumping out before the car even is in park. They already throwing open
Yeah,
the
if
door.
you ever been outside, you definitely done been
And
blitzed by task
bro, the
force
way
at
they jump
least
out
one,
is
two
like, bro, this
times.
is
I
our
done been
set.
blitzed numerous
That's how the
times.
police act, Lo. This is our territory. Y'all gonna move when we say move, do what we want y'all to do, and y'all gonna fucking listen. That's how they be trying to act, bro. Crash. The gang unit. Metro Crash. Bro, all in move like a gang, Lo. And they don't do none of this. So why do they want
Yeah,
people
that's
to
a real gang. The thin blue line gang.
Crash? They used to be on my ass. But Crash knew. You better jump out and get me correct. Because if I could run, then I'm gone from you. Straight up, look. They scandalous. Now it was a few that played their part, low. That wasn't really like, they had respect, calm, cool, collective, low.
It's maybe
If
like
you say,
2%.
oh, I'll whoop your ass, then they
thinking.
ready to throw off their
Out of
gun,
that,
put it in
maybe
their trunk, and
2%,
won't
bro.
even make a scene, low.
It's maybe
Real,
like
but just like, that's why I learned not.
it's maybe like 2%. Nah, I mean I do it like that. It's maybe like 15% out of 100% of police really had that, especially crash, task force, beat walkers that got that type of humanity or integrity still in them. The rest of them, they just bloodthirsty out there, just like the people that supposed to be hunting. My bad, policing.
To like hate all of them. Like I just don't hate all of the police. I don't, well, because I'm a grown ass man and I know that they gotta go get their dough to go provide for them and their family, low. So how I'ma hate them for doing something that they need to do, low? That's just how it go.
Somebody up or rob somebody, like they were probably just chilling in front of a store or at a park, and officers pulled up and tried to do whatever they were going to do.
Acting like it's
they
they
didn't want to
set.
go with the program. So I think they were probably going to talk about some of those things, how to change it, make it better for the community members, and just get on a talking stage. Like we as officers and as civilians, we have to both get out of the mindset of us versus them.
So, Nipsey was also somebody that was advocating against those gang injunctions. Like he was vocal about gang injunctions. Can you talk a little bit about just briefly what a gang injunction is, and then I have a follow-up to
Basically,
that
y'all
question.
using
Okay, yeah. So the
politics
gang
to
injunction is
take out
basically
street
like,
people.
let's say you're a young man, you're 16, 17 years old, and you are a part of a gang. If you've committed a crime or, they stopped you for a traffic stop or anything like that, they'll ask you, are you a part of a gang? A lot of times the young men, like, they have pride and they don't see the wrong in what they're doing, so they'll say, yeah,
That's
man,
Gilligan
me too,
activity.
something like that. And so the officers will write that down on an FI card. They take that card back to the station, and they put the young man on a gang file. So moving forward, if you commit a crime, it could be a number of different crimes, but if you commit one of those crimes, they'll try to charge you for that crime, but then also gang injunction, they'll say you're.
Bro, a gang injunction is horrible, low. But I get it.
It's super horrible.
But it's just goofy, bro. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, I don't think, like, a gang injunction is really gonna fix the problem, bro. Because telling gangbangers that is like telling a kid, a toddler, no. That's just gonna make that toddler want to do it even more.
Acting, you're doing what you're doing for the gang, so you'll get more years for whatever crime you've committed. Also, if you get on a gang file and you go to prison, once you get out, you can't hang out with other known gang members. So like even if you got on a gang file when you were 20,
Everybody knows the gang
you did
member
whatever you
because your whole
did, you
family
did
is
some
in the
time or
gang.
not. At 28, if you're hanging out with another gang member on probation or something like that.
Your whole family be in the gang because you grew up in an environment and that's who you know. So it's like a setup, bro. It's a setup. Straight setup.
The apps.
So my man, we gonna get back on some off the nerd stuff and back on some smarty stuff.
Are able to communicate with each other.
My
You know,
man got the
it's
new Stephen
also
Hawking in my
the
head, man. He's
logic is
smart
also
too.
interoperable. So back to my point earlier about, you know, typically, you know, if nobody's building on the chain, then it doesn't matter how awesome the blockchain is. Well, with L1X, you can literally update about 3 lines of code in your smart contract, and then it will be able to process the logic and the validation from L1X itself. So if you're a developer, now I don't have to start over on a new chain or relaunch my project, which again, that's what everybody has to do. You know, Arbitrum is a great example. Arbitrum's blowing up, but if you're going to have your own
I
dApp
like
on there,
Arbitron.
you have to build it from the ground up. Well, now with L1X, you can just update a few
It's like
lines
the
of code
discount
and
cheap
have access to
version
all
of
the
Ethereum,
capital, all the community, all the
but it's
applications
Ethereum
that are
scaling.
on these individual chains. So, you know, I made a joke a little earlier in some of these AMAs that said L1X was gonna the chain to rule them all, but really L1X is the chain to unite them all, and so that is really the power of what we can see here,
And
where
make
you know
sure
it's
y'all
no
tap
longer a
into A-Day
competition
at
of
EMP
what
Money
chain is
and
better.
also
It's
Mike the
it's
Investor.
using L1X to
Make sure y'all
unite
tap in
all
with
the
them.
chains. So yeah, again, that's what I'm super excited about.
Yeah, and so to piggyback off what you said, AJ, and I'm kind of glad you went there because that is one of the questions I have here. Is kind of, and I know Layer One X team will be a little bit more fit to talk about this, but
For
based
sure.
off of your knowledge, what has been the relationship with Layer One X and working with other chains? Because I was talking about a little bit earlier on the stream before you came on, is kind of how there's like this somewhat of a somewhat of a cult when it comes to certain blockchains, right? Whereas this
Yo,
blockchain is the
people
only
Totally.
just like
blockchain, or
even the
this
technology,
blockchain is
people are
better
used to
than
what they're
your
used
blockchain.
to.
And so, how
So
you talked about
they start
layer
going
one
to
S can
layer
kind of bring
ones.
everyone
Layer
together.
ones, you
What
can't
puts
build
them kind of
upon
in that
them.
position where they don't
It's
per
like
se
just
have to
having flat
compete
foundation, but you
with
can't
other
build upon.
blockchains
It's
that
like
kind
just
of
having a
take away
basement.
from
You know, we
what
want to
comes
be
with
able to
this
build not just
territory,
the
if you
house,
will?
but we want to be
Yeah,
able to
absolutely.
build
So, and you're 100% right,
a
Mike.
structure
You know,
off of
I'm
like
very close with the
a
team.
building
And
type
we'll get
joint.
into this later. We've been awarded the launch decks contract for building the actual launch decks on L1X. But again, everything I say, you know, please definitely go ask in the L1X Discord as well. But to your point, I mean, everything I'm hearing is that projects have been eager to build with L1X because, again, they have streamlined this process that developers don't have to start over. You know, as long as their code is based on Solidity, which is the Ethereum virtual machine, or Solana, which is Rust based, those code languages are easily, you know, ported over to be on L1X native. And even if you're not using L1X, that interoperability, you know, and this is where I think, to your point, it's very bullish, is because L1X is also able to facilitate the validation or transactions on.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I would just do a new one, okay? I'm sorry, okay? I would do a new one. I would do a new one, okay? I'm sorry. I would do a new one. I'm sorry. I would do a new one, bro. I just said I'm sorry. I would do a new one, bro. God damn, bro. That's like literally outside, bro. Guess the. Guess the. Guess the. Guess the. Guess the. Good boy. Guess the. Animal. It's not bad. Uma picano. Uma picano.
Like I'm trying to be like Speed. Can I eat like Speed, bro? Can I eat like Speed, bro?
Uma picano. Bye bye.
Can I eat like Speed, YouTube?
I got y'all. Chill.
I just want to eat.
Messi, the blue dollar.
I just want to eat. I just want to eat.
Come on, let's go.
I just want to eat.
Join up.
I just want to eat.
Everybody join up. I'm sorry about last game. Everybody join up. I'm sorry about last game, okay? Everybody join up. Ramadan. Oh, y'all want to do a Ramadan Kahoot?
Tim, man, I'm getting back on here later, man.